jumping on Rondo because he played fine. In fact, he hit the three midway through the fourth quarter and then made a free throw to put him up 98-95 with 6:08 left in the game. From that point on, the Clippers were outscored 18-5. And as I said, this is the problem that's plagued them dating back to the bubble. They can't close. It baffles me because Kawhi, with his mid-range game, should be a great closer. But they can't close. And they went 2 of 12 in the last 6 minutes from the field, 0 of 7 from 3. This was the best three-point shooting team in the league. 1 of 4 from the foul line. What? And you're missing free throws like that. That shows they just fell apart. And that is the biggest reason that they lost. Defensively, look, Luka, they held him to 1 point in the fourth quarter. They've got the 2 best wing defenders, as a tandem in the league in Kawhi and Paul George, and they couldn't stop Jalen Brunson and crew. And so the Clippers have a problem. And look, of the top 6 teams in each conference that made the playoffs, the top 6 seeds, the Clippers had the worst net rating in clutch time, the final few minutes of the game. And that continued yesterday. And if they don't fix it, they just degenerate into one-on-one play. And if they don't fix it, they may not get to the second round.
I've been trying to tell Skip, there's a difference. They're the #1 three-point shooting team, win, Chris, in the regular season. They're the #1 free throw shooting team, win, Chris, in the regular season. And that anaconda, as you get to the playoffs, Skip, that pressure, the more you move, the tighter it gets.
Yep.
And you see what happened? Oh, Kawhi. When we talk about Kawhi, now he had 3 points in the fourth quarter, Chris. 3 points, 1 assist. He was 1 of 6 from the three-point line. Paul George was terrible for most of the game. Even though Paul George ended up playing well, he was 8 of 18 from the field. Kawhi Leonard was 9 of 22. He had 26 points. Hell, it took him 22 shots to get it. That's not efficient. Oh, they were efficient. But somebody needs to tell me, with the 2 best wing defenders, and Chris, you started this, since Jordan and Pip, and they can't do nothing with Luka. Luka told Pat Bev, you too small. And look at him. Your parents mad at you. When they don't look at you, they look at the ground and say, boy, I'm tired of telling you this. You too small. What they gonna do, Skip? You talking about he only had 1 point. He hadn't done his damage. He had 30 in the first 3 quarters of the game.
And the game was tied with 3 minutes left. He'd done his damage.
And what did I tell you they need to do? Chris, I've been telling Skip Bayless this for the last year and a half. Since they've been out, say you get them late in the ball game, because they front run. When Kawhi Leonard dunked on Kleber, what did old Paul George do? Him and Marcus Morris. Just like when Pat Bev was joined with Dame Lillard, PJ had nothing to do with it. He come tagging along. And look what happened. Lay the egg again. Get them in crunch time. The last 3 to 5 minutes of a ball game. And they'll fold like banquet chairs, Chris, at the end of the night. You know how to run them, you know how that revival, and you got to put them on them banquet chairs. You got to fold them up and sit them in the corner. That's the Clippers for you right there in crunch time. I keep telling you this. Your day coming. Your day coming. You're going to meet your destiny on the road you took to avoid it. You tried to avoid Dame. You tried to avoid Goat James. But Baby Bird got something for you. Got something for you.
What did I tell you about Dame in Portland? They're coming for you.
No.
They're coming. I told you they're going to beat Denver. I told you they're coming for you.
But that's why Ty Lue rested him, because he didn't want to see him.
Okay, back to what my friend Chris Broussard opened this segment by saying. I agree with every last word Chris just spake on this show. Yet, I will point out that Pandemic P, as in Paul George, as in playoff P, outscored Baby Bird in the fourth quarter 10-1, and the Clippers still couldn't bring it home. And I agree. Rondo played all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter, and even he couldn't figure out the Rubik's Cube of unclutchness that is the Clippers in the fourth quarter. He tried. He did his darndest, but he wound up with only 2 assists. That won't get you home from Rondo because nobody could make the shot, and he seemed at a loss. Is it your turn, or maybe it's your turn again? And I thought Paul George was outstanding until about 3 minutes left in the game. And we could see the shot that he hit. He hit the shot that tied the game with 3 minutes left, and this one just took my breath away. He just pulled right up from 19 feet and said, I got this. This is pandemic P. That right there, that's his 9th and 10th point that he scored in the fourth quarter. And you rhapsodize up against about Baby Bird. It's just pure blasphemy, the phony baloney you spew about Luka Doncic. He's a 33% career three-point shooter. And in the fourth quarter, he's 0 for 5 and 0 for 3 from 3. And he shot, if we could see this again, he shot 2 air balls on one crucial possession. Late in the game, it's a three-point game, and he shoots 1 air ball, and then he manages to get the ball back, and he shoots another air ball. That's the one you call Baby Bird. I call him Baby Sparrow because he doesn't belong in the same conversation with the great Larry Bird. So the point is, Chris is right. Choke their guts out down the stretch from the free throw line. Marcus Morris goes over 2, and Kawhi missed another one. And from the three-point line, because with the game on the line, Paul George came down and took a quick 3. If we could see this is for the game right here. This is it. You're down 3. This is to tie it with 2 minutes left, and he missed it wide, left, and short. And that was it. From that point on, they disintegrated.
As long as there wasn't no pressure on him. You see what he did?
Okay. Well, there was pressure with 3 minutes left, and he tied the game.
Hey, but hold on. Jim, you got that package. Jim, I need you to give me that package. I need Chris to see this package. I got a little Clippers packet for you. So some highlights of the Clippers. That this Chris, that Skip Bayless talking about, they're so executed. They so well coached. Because I want to know, now, who got the ball right here? I want to know who got the ball. Who is this shooting the shot? Mid-range. What is that? Who shot that, Chris? I want to know who got this ball. Now, the master of the mid-range. Who is that?
I just told you he was pathetic.
Right. That's his game.
That's his game.
Pathetic.
And here's
pathetic.
the thing.
I already called it. I told you.
Go ahead, Chris.
When they signed Kawhi, 2 years ago, they thought that they would have the best player in every series they played. And, at that time, with Kawhi riding high off the championship, you thought, okay, maybe even against LeBron, maybe even against KD, it was up in the air. And this is their 3rd playoff series with Kawhi. He has not been the best player yet in one of those series.
None of them.
Luka's better than Kawhi. Luka's better. The air balls and all. Luka is the man, and Kawhi, here's what I want to see, and I know they threw everything at him. They switched, and then late in the game, they double-teamed him. That's one reason he had only 1 point. They double-teamed him. He made the right passes to his teammates. But I want to see Kawhi go to Ty Lue and say, give me Luka. Kawhi is 29 years old. He's a 6-time All-D. Will he?
Yes,
I want him to do that.
Book
say,
it.
give me
Book
Luka.
It. Kawhi Leonard will take Baby Bird right out of the box.
But Chris, Kawhi...
All right. I want to see it.
Chris.
You will.
Kawhi hasn't been that defensive guy since he left San Antonio.
Because he's saved himself for
Because now he's more of an offensive-minded player. So he can't, but to have to sit down and that, so you want him to, because I know a guy, I remember a guy before he got into his mid-30s could sit down in the chair and still give you 30, 10, and 8 in a playoff game. And he did it every game. You know that guy?
Well,
the guy from Akron?
That guy's long gone.
Hold on. Not when he was 29, he wasn't long gone.
But that's my point, Shannon. Kawhi's 29.
29.
He's still supposed to be in his prime. He should be able to go hard on both ends of the floor.
Should be, but he can't.
Apparently, he can't.
And what about Paul George?
Wait a second. Kawhi was so bad the other day, he had 26, 10, and 5. Really?
Hey, Chris, let me ask you a question, Chris. I ain't really good at math, because math was really not my strong suit.
Both of them on alternate them.
So, but, once we got out of multiplication timetable, I was done with math. But if 26 points on 22 shots, is that good? How you going to have 4 more points than shots?
Here is the point.
9 and 22 is not good.
No, that's what he was.
Because of you two, Chris saying yellow fever that the Clippers had, all of a sudden the Dallas Mavericks said, oh, so they were tanking for us.
Yes.
We got something for you.
Yep.
They came out shooting with fire in their eyes in Game 1. The Clippers did not match their intensity or their urgency in Game 1. So here we go. Game 2 is do or die for my Clippers, and they will do. You watch, because they will come out firing. They will take care of business the way they should have in Game 1. It will not be this close down the stretch of Game 2. two.
You're right. They're going to blow y'all out. Hold on. I thought y'all was the best three-point shooting team. How you going to let them afford
How much do you want on game two?
We blowing y'all out.
Want to do 5 cases?
We'll talk about this tomorrow. We'll talk about this.
I'll talk about it right now. I'll do 10 cases right now. I'll do 10 cases. The Clippers have lost 4 straight playoff games, including those 3 disasters at the hands of the Nuggets.
Well, Kawhi and Paul George must not have been playing.
They got to win. They got to win games.
Hey, Chris, Chris, can you ask me a question? When did the starting point guard stop playing in the fourth quarters? Because Pat Bev can't get on the floor. A defensive guy. Your starting point guard can't get on the floor in the fourth quarter. And you need to tell me why?
Did the Lakers lose game 1 last year?
What?
Did they lose game 1 last year? Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Hold on. Does LeBron James play for the Clippers? I want to know which.
I'm glad he doesn't,
is it
because
Kawhi?
he stunk up the fourth quarter worse than Kawhi did.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. You wish you had a guy that could be as acclaimed or as accomplished as GOAT James.
Really?
Yes.
Passive LeBron? I couldn't even recognize him yesterday.
Your guy was
unplugged, disengaged.
Okay. At least I got an excuse. My guy was passive. That's why he didn't play that well. What's your excuse for PG and Kawhi?
I have none.
That's what I thought.
Until game 2, then we'll see.
Luka gonna give it to him again.
Okay, give it. We're ready.
Skip, in 7 playoff